And good evening, people. How you all doing? Before we get started, anybody who is listening to this using headphones, I apologize now. I am suffering with a bit of a cold, which means there will be some sniffing through this evening. I apologize, there's not a lot I can do about it, but we're gonna battle on. Thank you so much, all of you. See, Derek's in here, Will's in here, Iggy's in here, Don's in here, Derek's in here, everybody who is anybody, Tom's in here, Will's in here. If I haven't said your name, I'm sorry, but I can't be asked. Yeah, so you all know what this is about. It's not Apple, that's for sure. Hope the audio's okay, hope the video's okay. Like I say, I will do my best to keep the sniffing to a bare minimum this evening. I can't promise anything because I'll forget that I'm doing it, and I'll do it anyway, and I apologise now for that. Spot the little bit of advertising. I'll take that off there now. That's my close-up cam, or one of my close-up cams, and I just thought it looked boring looking at the side of a box, so I thought I'd do something about it. Now, typical of me, because this is how I roll, I specifically sharpened a knife up at home and brought it down into the makerspace to use, and I've no idea where I've put it. So that's a great start, isn't it? So, without further ado, you know what we're going to use? We're going to use the Magic T-Square. The one thing I say all 3D printers should not be without is a Magic T-Square. Not necessarily for opening boxes, but this is what we're going to use this one for this evening. Terribly sorry, guys. Yeah, so before we start, usual guff that I give. This machine has been very kindly sent to me by Geeetech. I'm going to give a shout out to Emma Green. I'm sure many of you out there know Emma Green. I'm fairly certain that's not her real name. But absolutely fantastic lady. Ever so helpful in all things to do with Geeetech. Not just, you know, sending me this wonderful machine. Well, I say wonderful, who knows yet. But sending this machine to have a look at. But she's also great if you have any issues, any problems. And if she can't help you, she will find you somebody that can. So yeah, a big shout out and thank you to her. I do hope when she wakes up in the morning, she happens to put this on and gets the name check, because she deserves it. She's a very hard working woman, does very long hours. And yeah, without her, I wouldn't be here with this. So this should have arrived. You can see I'm struggling now, can't you? This should have arrived yesterday. And I was all ready for streaming last night, which would have meant I beat a certain other American gentleman to the unboxing. But unfortunately, due to the powers that be, I think it was customs that were the problem. I had my machine delivery delayed by a day. So rather than it turning up at 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, which meant I would have been streaming at this time last night, and not interfering with Apple's event, and getting it in before Jimmy Shaw. Oh, did I say that out loud? Unfortunately, due to things beyond my control, it couldn't happen. So we are where we are. We're doing what we're doing. We will just have to get on and do it now. So just gonna pull you up on the screen there so I can see if anybody's actually shouting things like the audio's gone off or it's behind you or anything like that. No, right, that's fine. So this is pretty much gonna be the same. Oh, I'm out of focus. Oh, there we go, sorry. This is pretty much going to be the same as the A10 was build-wise. Hopefully this time I'll have 2 tapped threads to put the display on, but we'll cross that bridge. The difference, of course, is going to be that we're going to be playing with 2 filaments. So, we start with the obligatory instruction guide that we always get, list of parts, etc, etc. Another piece of foam. Okay, I'm going to stand up for this bit. Oh, now there's the first thing. There's the first thing. I haven't watched Jimmy's stream all the way through. Sorry, I'll just spin this camera up a little so you can see my ugly mug. I haven't watched Jimmy's stream all the way through. So I don't know what he said while he was unboxing. Quite frankly, I was that distressed that he got in before me. I didn't bother taking a lot of notice. But the first thing I've noticed is the bed. I'm going to do it again. The bed knobs are larger. They have increased the size of them, which is fantastic. But we'll see that in a minute. So, top of the box. First things out of the box. We have 2 extruders. All stamped up with Geeetech. So we have, you know what, I should do this, look. We have extruder 1 and we have extruder 2. So let's have a look in the top of the box, shall we? I'll just do a quick spin around. Now you can see there, look, those to me look quite a bit bigger, which is useful. So as you can see, it's quite nicely laid out in there. There's the proof of the pudding. We've got an M for the old mixed material. We should just put that camera back down there again because we don't need that for the moment. So we'll start getting the parts out. Nicely packed as always. Always the same with Geeetech. No messing about. So yes, still full size SD card on the back of there, look. So that's another good thing. I do like that. I do like the fact it's up there rather than being on the control box. I do like the fact it's full size. I am sniffing. I apologise. Ooh. So we have a main body, which you can't see. But I shall just take that out. Nicely put together, as always. If anybody has any questions, as we're going along, I will do my best to go through those with you and sort those out. Right, so camera up again. Let's have a look on the second layer. So second layer, we have got power supply already put on 240 volts. Look, fantastic. We've got that there. We've got a power supply with a UK plug on it. Somebody's been listening. I seem to remember last one I got didn't have a UK plug on my A10. Now we've got the filament runout sensor in that bag. A few bits and pieces. Spool holders. Of course, I'm going to need 2. The obligatory Geeetech mouse mat. I think I might start papering a wall with these because I've got so many of them. There it is, look, the obligatory Geeetech mouse mat. So we'll get these bits out. We'll get this thing together. So yeah, UK plug, well done. Well done, Geeetech. You've picked up on it. I'm in the UK. Was it the voice that gave it away, we ask ourselves? Who knows? So, power supply. Is that plastic? That is plastic. That is moulded plastic. Injection moulded. Fairly bog standard power supply. Nothing extra special about that really. Still got that proprietary plug on the end, which I actually quite like. So put that on there. Get this last bit out the box, and then we'll swap cameras. I should just put you down there for now. You see, after watching Joel's last unbox and live build, I don't feel too bad about mine. Which camera froze? The DSLR? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Richard. We shall do something about that. I don't quite know. Just bear with me, guys. This is, you see, there I am taking the piddle out of Joe, and then the same thing happens to me. Right, okay, let's just see if I can't solve that. Just bear with me. It might have switched itself off. Just bear with me 2 seconds while I just go running around the room. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go, we should be back on. If you just bear with me a second or two, I will try to solve the little issue. I think I know what it is. I think it's just being a pain. So yeah, there I am saying, you know, better than Joel, not having all the cock-ups, not having the freezing camera, and what happens almost straight away? The camera freezes. Brilliant stuff. That just goes to show, doesn't it? Never work with animals, children, and DSLRs. So just bear with me 2 ticks. There we go, we should be back on. And then we will do a quick. There we go. Are we back? Can everybody see me see it again? Are we back in the land of the living? There we go. Brilliant. Sorry about that, guys. Just let me know if it goes again. I know exactly what it is that's doing it. So, we'll chuck this bit out of the way. So we have bits. We have bits. We have more bits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lose the pretty picture of me, and we will just go straight over to that, like that. So we are now going to be doing that. Right, so now we're just on the main camera for now while we see what we're doing. I'm sorry, I just sniffed, I heard it. So we'll leave those bits there. We will have a look what comes in the bag. See, this is all the boring bit, isn't it? We don't really need to know any of this. We're really only interested in what it'll print, what's on the SD card. I have no idea how to do mixed material printing. I've not looked it up as yet. I will, I promise. I will do some of my own slicing to do some of my own prints, but for today we will just print what is on the SD card. I have been pre-warned that the dog on the SD card is just the normal dog. Well, that's fair enough. I don't have a real issue with that. But there are apparently two colour prints, and the amazing thing is, well done Geeetech, they have put 2 bits of filament in, 2 different colours. I mean, all right, they're purple and blue. There's not a massive amount on there, but there's might be enough to get a print out of it, depending on whether we have to use a purge block or not. But well done for remembering to put 2 in. I did wonder. There appears to be 2 extra pieces there, because there are 2 already on the hot end. So they may well be spares, which is nice. A couple of spare bits of PTFE tubing. We've got some more screws. We have got a filament run-out sensor. In fact, they've got 2 filament run-out sensors, of course, because I've got 2 filaments. Anybody who's got the A30 will know what they are. Let me just whack you on my close-up camera for a second. Like that. These are These are quite interesting little things actually, these, because they're a clever little design, or I think they're a clever little design. Goodness knows what's inside them because I've not looked, but they actually run on a ball bearing, look. So that end clips to the extruder, and this end is the end that your filament goes through, and because it's on a ball bearing like that, it can move, so it doesn't really matter which direction your filament's coming from off the spool. It sort of rotates nicely. I think that's quite a nice little touch. I was quite pleased with that when I got one on my A30. While on the subject of A30, I have the beta firmware. We've just lost the camera again. We've just lost the main camera again. It's just switched itself off, so we won't be going back to that just now. Oh, do you know, it's just marvellous, this live TV malarkey, isn't it? I've just heard that shut off, and I don't know why it's doing it. It's getting darn annoying though, so we will do a transition. Just bear with me. I'm going to just make life a little bit more interesting. I'm just going to have to. Good evening, Gus. Thanks very much for joining, mate. Nice to have you here. Kevin, didn't see you had popped in either. Nice to see you here too. We're having a couple of little issues, but nothing that we can't deal with. So, the DSLR is playing silly beggars and does not want to stay on. So, we are not going to bother with it for now. We're going to do without. We have enough other cameras to live without it. So we'll go to that shop. There we go. Look, we're still cooking on gas. If you really want to see my ugly mug, which I'm sure you don't, especially with all the sniffing and the snorting and the snuffing and the sniffling. But there you go. That's me. I'm here. Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome. So yeah, we seem to have got some really good bits here. So without further ado, shall I actually look at the instructions? I didn't do that with the last one, did I? Obligatory toolkit. Again with this massive great spanner, and I still haven't worked out what it does. Oh, by the way, did I see somebody in the room a little bit earlier on? Did I? Just let me scan back up and see. Yes, Tim. Good evening, Tim. Didn't know whether you were here or not. Good evening, Tim. Thank you very much for joining. You're on that one, aren't you? Good evening, Tim. Thank you very much for joining. Do appreciate it, mate. Know you're working hard at the moment. Yeah, I've got this spanner again. And for the life of me, I don't know what it's supposed to tighten up. I am going to have words with Emma and find out what on earth that's supposed to do, because why would you want a spanner that big? Has anybody got a nut that spanner will fit? Steady. Are we still okay with audio, guys? Is the audio still all right? Say yes, Matthew. God, I'm sorry. I'm not taking any medication, and really I should. So we've got the 4 bolts up through the bottom, the 2 bolts to hold the display on, the 2 bolts to hold the PSU in place, and then we get onto the interesting bit for the carriage. Right, okay, I'm sorry I sniffed. Oh, do you know, I should give 2p to charity for every time I sniff, but I'm not gonna, because charity begins at home, and the sooner I get home the better. Right, so first thing I'll do, not a very interesting shot for you, but I'm just going to check. Yeah, we have a little bit of play on the bed before we start, so the first thing I'll do is I'll tighten that up. Yeah, just which side of the nuts there. Now, if you don't know how to tighten these concentric nuts up, I know Tim did a video the other day on doing them on the gantry. Great little short video. Always good to check these things out when people do these things. Right, let's have a little bit more of a tighten. So we'll just make sure we take the slop out of there before we go any further. I mean, you don't want to overdo this, do you? We all know this, how this works by now. Didn't even know you'd gone, fella. You've not missed anything. Nothing's gone wrong, I promise you. It's been absolutely fine. We've had no problems, no issues with cameras stopping or anything. We're working really well, we are. Everything's good. So there we go, that's the slop taken out of there. I just wanted to see if I can get this so you can see it. Just show you these. Excuse me, sorry. God, it's terrible. I can show you these wheels underneath, look. Look how much bigger they've gone. There you are, look. So those adjustment wheels are a lot bigger. Strain relief, and move that out of the way. You can see there, look, that the wires are soldered directly onto the heated bed, and there is a metal strain relief bracket, which again I think is a nice idea. The quality of the cuts in the extrusion is really good, as you would come to expect from Geeetech. No hack jobs here. But oh, that's white. Get it on the. Oh no, we're not totally flat there, are we? Let's just check I'm not resting on anything. No, not resting on anything. So we have a little bit of a wobble. Don't know whether you can pick that up on camera, but we have just a little bit of wobble on there. So we'll get the right size Allen key out. And if you have this issue, it is very easily solved, he says. We just loosen those two off. Oh, I'm sorry, I've sniffed again. Really, seriously, if any of you are wearing headphones, I am so sorry. But I can't put this off because basically on Friday morning I'm going away for 4 days. Going to just indulge myself in my other passion. I have a passion for Land Rovers, and there is a Land Rover show in Peterborough starting on Saturday, but I'm going down the Friday because I get early entry. So really tonight was the only night I could do this. So that's why I'm here. Right, so I've loosened those 4 bolts off, and I've got that to sit square. It really is as simple as that. There is no big secret as to how to do that. It really is just that simple. All you do is loosen those 4 off. Make sure that the frame is sitting flat on your table. I've sniffed again. Oh, so sorry. Tighten them back up like so. And that's that done. So that's now flat, level, stable base. Make sure you check that before you go any further, because it saves all sorts of issues later on. The last thing you want to do is get the whole thing built and then find that, you know, you've got to straighten your frame up. I'm guessing, yeah, they've done it again. Whether we get this in focus up there. That says backup screw kit. Massive bag of screws, washers. Just, you know, brilliant, marvellous. This is the kind of thing IKEA used to do, but don't do anymore. Trust me, I've built a whole load of IKEA stuff just recently, and they don't come with any spare screws at all. So if they happen to forget a screw, or you happen to lose a screw, you're pretty much knackered, which isn't brilliant. Oh, I'm so sorry. I really am. Just bear with me 2 seconds while I just go and sort this little problem out. Talk amongst yourselves again. Reminisce about life in general and the life, the universe and everything. And normal service will be resumed. There we go. Normal service is resumed. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put these 4 bolts in. There are so many different ways people dangle the edge of their machines off the table to do it, which is probably the route I'm going to take because it's as easy as any other. So we'll just take that side off the table like so. Not very many questions this evening. In fact, chat seems to be very quiet. I don't know whether you're all really watching what I'm doing or really listening to me, or whether you're all watching Apple or something else instead, and I am just in the background. Getting one of these. Is yours on the way then, your version, Tom? Do you know if it's been shipped yet? Or are you still waiting with bated breath to get that message? Because I'm sure we're all the same when we get that shipping notification. We do an awful lot of refreshing, either on our mobiles or on our laptops or whatever. It's a thing we can't help, that is for certain. Now, when you do tighten these up, the other thing I'll say is don't tighten them all the way up straight away. Again, it's good to just leave them slightly slack so we can check a few things are correctly positioned before we make any silly mistakes. Make sure that cable doesn't get in the way that's hiding under there. It's always good to make sure things are perpendicular. Can somebody say something in chat, please? I've got this horrible feeling we're not live anymore. Because it's not moving. Is it just me that's not moving? I don't know. Ever since the DSLR went off, I've had enough. Chat froze. Iggy, behave yourself. I can't trust anything you say, can I? You are like a naughty little boy. You really are. I'm just looking at the spares that came with. There's a spare nozzle. There is that clever little filament clean out bar pushy handly thing. You know what I mean, that I showed you with the A10 that you just use for clearing. Going to TCT. Do you know, I really wish I could, Kev. The problem is because I've taken this time off to go to the Land Rover show, I couldn't manage to do both, unfortunately, this year. I'm sorry about that. I would love to have gone. I am going to try my hardest to get next year. Because I think it's something that, it's certainly something I'd love to go to. It's something I would greatly like to support, because I think it's still sort of very, it's small in comparison to all the American ones, isn't it? Like I say, I would very much like to go, but unfortunately this year I've burnt my bridges with going to the Land Rover show, that I'm not going to get. Oh, sorry, sneezing again, sniffing again. I want to just go to the close-up cam for a second. I just want to show you something. There we go. I haven't got a great deal of light back here, have we? But these are looking different to me. These are not looking like the old ones did. Let me just see if I can get a little bit more light on those for you. They look to have changed the design slightly. Just let me get up out of the chair without strangling myself. I think I ought to get a wireless mic, really. But that's more expense, isn't it? So again, this is turned up. I haven't had to pay any import duty yet. I know it's coming. Right, light. More light as ease. There we go. So if you look at those, they are different wheels. Joe Blow, do you smoke now, mate? No, I don't. Haven't smoked in years. So Richard, if you'd just like to remove Joe, by all means do. It is of no consequence to me if he leaves the chat fairly sharp. I don't know why we're having issues with the chat being so slow, because I am not dropping any frames at all. The CPU is only running 27. Less than 4 seconds. There we go. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, you see, we're not that bad if you've picked that up that quickly. So yeah, these seem to be different. Ooh, let me show you the back of this. Here, guys, let's have a look at the back of the hot end. We can see what's going on with that. Let's see if I can get you a bit closer in. Oh, I've just chucked everything all over the floor. I've sniffed again. That's an interesting little setup, isn't it? We seem to have a 3-pin socket there with nothing in it, and then there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin above it. Now in my brains, the 3-pin may be for a sensor for auto bed leveling, and the 5-pin above maybe for a BL touch. Now the reason why I am saying that is because, I don't know whether any of you noticed, but there is already a mount there for a BL touch. So that is already in place, which means I'm going to have to get hold of a BL touch, aren't I? For a future video we will have to get that rigged up. But there you are, look. There is a mount for the BL touch, and like I say, with those sockets at the back, it looks like it's pre-rigged to have those, which is nice. Of course, that one is going to be that one, of course, is going to be for the extruder, isn't it? Idiot child. They blew Joe Blow away, didn't they? Just that old banhammer came out. So yeah, we've got these 5 pins up here, which I'm guessing is for the BL touch. So we'll just go back to the main camera again, like so. Thank you guys for doing that. That's why I have my moderators, for their speed and efficiency. They are second to none. And when I catch the nun, she'll be in trouble. Right, so we'll get the power supply chucked on now then, because we've got that set up. That was effortless, as it generally is. You know, I think that's possibly my first ever troll, which is interesting. Does that mean I am getting that famous? Sorry, shouldn't laugh inanely and I shouldn't sniff inanely, but yeah, first troll. Wow. So we all know where the power supply goes, don't we? It goes on the printer. Nuts. Yes, absolutely. Right, so we're going to this bag here. I'm sure the instructions will tell me. You haven't had to ban anyone. I'm not surprised, Tim. I'll be honest with you, mate. If you had to ban anyone from your channel, it'd be you. And then Tim bans himself from his own channel. Yes. You've made it when you start getting trolled. I'm not so sure I've made it. I don't ever think I've made it. I've made it here. That's always a start. Right, now then, I get my brain in gear. Right, so we're going to have to move this little machine up a little so I can find my holes. There are a few, sorry, I just coughed as well. Headphone people, sorry. There are a couple of little more alterations and straightenings I'm going to have to do. I will point those out shortly. I have just noticed them. Nothing overly exciting, but it's the sort of thing that really you need to check every time you build a machine. That, you know, belts are straight. I mean, that's beautifully tight. There is a flat spot on there. I'm guessing that that is a flat spot from transportation. I'm guessing after a little while that will clear itself up. But if it doesn't, I will certainly let you know. So we are just going to... Do you know, Joe Blow should have read my t-shirt. It's just occurred to me. Is my t-shirt the right way around? It is. There you go. Yet, despite the look on my face, you are still talking. Joe, if you're still watching out there in La La Land, you should have seen that. Yes, Tim, sorry mate. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have missed the beginning. Yeah, very kindly, Emma said to me, would you like to give it a try? And of course, who am I to refuse? It's a foray into the unknown for me. I've never had a machine with dual extruders. I have no idea how to set up Simplify 3D for it or anything else, but I am sure I can manage to work it out. And if I can manage to work it out, I'm sure everybody can, which is probably why Emma offered to send me one of these, just to prove that any Muppet can do it. So there we go. German printing nerd, why can't I see Tim's messages? Maybe he's banned you. Maybe he just doesn't want you reading them, Dom. Who knows? Who can possibly say? Right, so that's power supply on. Like I say, out of the box, it was already set to 240 volts, so well done, Geeetech. Well noted that I am in the UK, so you have put it switched to 240 volt for me, which is very good of you. It saves an awful lot of mess. I always maintain that all these Chinese companies should have all these power supplies set to 240 volt. Basically, because if somebody in the States or anywhere else that runs on 110 switches it on without checking it, they're not going to do any damage. So for safety's sake, I would suggest that they always have it set to 240, and then the guys in the States or anywhere else that use 110, they can just switch it over. Oh, hang on, getting messages. Sorry, just bear with me 2 ticks. Sorry, I've just read a private message and it's just made me giggle. You know who you are. And my only answer to that is I've often thought about it myself. But yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not doing any of this in any particular order. I'm not really taking any notice of the instructions. I know that's terribly bad of me. We are going to go for the screen now. People who know me, Tim, stop laughing, because I know that you put your A10 together after I did mine, and you did mention in your live stream about me not having threaded holes to put these 2 bolts in. Shall we have another go and see how we get on this time? Oh God, this could be a ghastly nightmare. This could. Right, so first things first. I need to make sure I get this the right way up, don't I? Go on, who's going to tell me which way up the ribbon cable goes before I find it? Because my eyesight isn't what it used to be. I know I'm not supposed to connect it yet, but it's easier to connect it before you bolt it on. You see, it doesn't show me. Oh, no, hang on, it does. Connect the cable for the LCD display. Note the blue side is on the bottom side. So the blue side is on the bottom. Okay. Oh, I've sniffed again. Sorry. Jeez. I mean, I could actually go and look at my A10. That would be as easy as anything, wouldn't it? But actually, it makes sense that it's that way. So, I am going to connect this first. Just makes life a whole load easier if you connect this before you attempt to screw the display on. So, blue to the bottom. How much are you betting that's going to be the wrong way up? Oh, sniffed again. Sorry. Right, so it's truth or consequences time, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. Most people worry about getting blue smoke when they turn their machines on. I worry more about the fact, do I have tapped holes for my display? So, we have a bolt. We have a hole. We offer the bolt to the hole. It turns. It goes in. It's threaded. Woo! Party! Marvellous stuff. Well, at least we've got one threaded. We'll see if the other one's threaded too. So that's one anomaly catered for. Fantastic stuff. That's that in there. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Oh, my mate Vince has just put a new video up. Surprisingly enough about Apple. It's obviously going to be the most important thing going on in the world today. Is Apple have bought something else out, incredibly overpriced. I'm not an Apple fan. I'm sorry if you are. I don't hate you for it, but they are great for what they are. They are great for what they do, but they're not for me. You can't tinker with them. Got to tinker. It's all about tinkering. So we have display on. We had threaded bolts. Extrusion was threaded. Display is on. Cable is in. I've snuffed it again. Snorted again. So let's look what's next. Shall we put some extruders on the top? Let's have a look. So the extruders, they're sort of heavily encased in plastic. I'll do you a close-up of these as well, because I'm sure somebody's going to be interested. Right, so this is an extruder. Let me see if I can get some additional light on the matter. There we go. So that is a fairly new piece of kit to me. I've not seen one set up quite like that anymore. Before, sorry. Seems to be sort of encased in a housing. It's got spring loaded on there. It's got a little bit of PTFE tube there. And then you can see the gnarled wheel there. So it's, I'm sure Tim will know immediately what that's called. And don't say an extruder. Sorry, sniffed again. But yeah, new to me, not seen them like that before. I will actually have to refer to the instructions just a little bit, just to work out how they would like me to put those on. Let's have a little look at what it says. Ah, there we go. Mount the 2 extruder motors on the frame and fasten with the screws. Assemble the filament detectors with the... Right, so that's... Gosh, my eyesight. Whether it's my eyesight or whether it's just not incredibly obvious what I'm supposed to do. Right, so they are showing them a Titan clone. Okie dokie. I can't get that in focus, but they're showing them sort of like they're hanging down off the top. So I can only imagine that they sit... I'll get you back on main camera, sorry. Somebody should have shouted. And I'm sniffing again. Let me just bring that up so we can see the top. There we go. So I can only imagine they are going to sit like that, side by side, on the top. So then I can put these PTFE tubes in. There's been an awful lot of length on there. So the motors are at the back. Yeah, that's got to be the way, hasn't it? Motors are at the back. The actual extruder at the front. So the filament feeds in from the front. I guess we're going to have them fairly sort of close side by side. I've just thought of a really pathetic joke, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm kind of guessing they are going to sit something like that, I'm going to presume. And then with those two, see, there's massive amounts of spare tube there. I'm not sure about that, whether they're just going to go in something like that. So let me just turn you slightly sideways. I'm sorry about me ad hoc cameras, but we all know what happens. So they're going to go in something like that into there with all this spare flexible pipe that we have. And then we'll stick some filament sensors on. So these are just a matter of the T-nuts, and they will just go in. I wonder, has anybody got a picture of the finished thing? Let me see if they have them that close together, or whether they have a gap between them. Oh no, they've got a gap between them. Okay, so looking at that, the gap between them is about the width of an extruder. So that's what we'll do. Has anybody fallen asleep yet? So Tim, what do you think of the new puppy? Cheers, Iggy. What do you think of new puppy, Tim? I'll tell you what, it's a pain in the rear. It's one of those machines that just has stuff coming out of it all the time. If it's not noise out of one end, it's liquid or solid out of the other. But a beautiful animal. A beautiful animal. No, you should, Tim, if you can, mate. They are. I mean, I've grew up with cats, and unfortunately, my partner and my daughter aren't really cat people. But you know, but dogs are fantastic. So that's two we've got now. We've got Ash, she's a black Labrador. She's 7, and she's having a bit of a hard time at the moment with this new pup around, but we'll get through that. And then the new one, which is Red, and she is a golden retriever, and she is just over 8 weeks old now. So I missed it. Is the frame rigid? It is rigid now. Yes, I have tightened it all up totally. You haven't missed anything really. So we've got our dual extruders mounted at the top. I'm so glad Tim's here. Well done, Timothy. You're going to come in very useful when I get this completely wrong. So dual extruders are on. So I suppose the next thing to put on will be the filament sensors. So we will. I've got a very small Allen bolt up here, and I'm guessing. You see, that's a bit tight. No, we can get in. It's a little bit close to the little bit of PTFE tube, so you just have to make sure you go the right side of it when you screw it on. And we're just going to take that screw all the way out, like so. We're going to drop it on the floor and never find it again. No, we're not. We're going to just put it through the plate. So it's gone through there like that. Put that back on there, and then we'll screw that back into place. So we'll do that times 2. So we have them both done. Sorry. Do you know, I am so apologetic about this snotty nose because I hate it. But like I say, I couldn't hold off doing this. It would have been lovely to got this out yesterday. 3 cats and a fish. Well, I'm not surprised you're out of space, mate. I mean, for goodness sake, you've got 1 or 2 printers for a start. I hear you've got one in your front room at the moment. I'm not sure that was allowed. Was it a Creality machine you've got in the front room? I've read somewhere. Can't remember. Was it the CRX? Have you got the CRX in the front room? No, you had one. You had one you were building. I'm sure it was a CRX you were playing with. I could be wrong. It's been known. Ooh! Ooh, I say. I've just noticed something. Sorry. Oh, the Alpha White. I'd love one of those. They look like a really good machine. That hasn't come fitted. I have a funny feeling that was already fitted on the A10M. I don't remember putting it on, but maybe I did. But I honestly thought, like I say, I could be entirely wrong, but I honestly thought that was already pre-fitted on the A10M. I know it isn't, but you know me, Tim. You play it by the book for at least the first 20 minutes. You put the machine together as the manufacturer wants you to put the machine together. If we then turn around and go, it's an unnecessary thing, which we all know it is. I mean, there's a bearing in there. There is plenty of slop in there as well. So I don't think having it on is going to affect it. But I know what you're saying, mate. It's unnecessary. It's not needed. I've sniffed again. The world's going to come to an end. Right, so, sorry. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah, just one other thing I was going to say. I know I was talking about checking wheels and eccentric nuts and whatever else. Make sure that things are tight. I have just noticed, we will just go back to close-up cam. Close-up cam. Which cable isn't long enough to bloody look at anything. close-up cam, which hasn't got enough light to show you anything either. Oh, come on, Matthew, look, sort it. As you can see, that is not exactly level. So we will just give that a little straighten up. It's not the end of the world, it's not a massive issue, but it's the kind of little things you want to be looking out for. Oh, you can't see because I've not transitioned. Somebody tell me I've not transitioned, for goodness sake. Matthew, you've not transitioned. Thank you very much. So, transition. There we go. What I wanted to show you was that, look. Tim, it's no good telling me now. Oh, do you know? And I thought you were being helpful. Yeah, that just needs a little straighten up, that's all. But it's always good to check. Have a check round your printer. Don't rely on the fact that it's going to be right. You know, spend a little bit of extra time just making sure things are good. Oh no, it's not a regulation Allen key. What was I thinking? So just loosen that off a little. Let's see if we can do this without losing any belt tension. There we go, that's that straightened up. We've still got belt tension, so we will just tighten that back up again. So I suppose we will put these on, and then we will be on for sticking some cables in, lads, and whacking them into there, and then whacking some cables on, and then looking for Puff the Magic Dragon. See how much smoke we can get out of it. Hopefully not too much, hey, because it'd be quite nice to see something print, wouldn't it? I just read your shitty. Timothy! Goodness sake, man. Yeah, well, yeah, I don't wear this t-shirt often. I tend to wear this t-shirt when I am going shopping. And I wear it specifically for assistance in shops, because I sometimes think they think I'm stupid. Well, sometimes they're right, but you know, I should wear it one day when a policeman pulls me up. That would be quite interesting. Sorry, sniffed again. You know. So yeah, we've got the obligatory spool holders that just about every machine has, one form or another. Is nobody else talking but Tim? Has everybody else gone to sleep? Or is there just me and Tim in the room? No, we've still got 14 people viewing. Thanks very much, all 14 of you. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you are not a subscriber of mine, please consider subscribing to this channel. You will get bored to death listening to me waffle on about this kind of thing. But it's always great to have new people along, so if you are new to the channel, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, of course, to the old guard for stopping by, as you always do. I do appreciate that as well. Yeah. You know the rest of the blurb. I'm not even going to bother saying it tonight. But yeah, just comment, subscribe, like, follow me on the Twitter-versy thing. Find me on Facebook if you can. That's about it, really. Love me. Right, that one's going to have to be at the other end. Oh, God. Been to the chippy? Bloody hell, Richard. Am I that unimportant that you'd rather... Actually, yeah, probably. In fact, I'm probably less important than scraps and gravy, aren't I? Let's be honest. And that is such an English joke. so many people. Red Angel! Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the utter madhouse that is me trying to build a printer. You get none of your quality video feeds here, you know. Me and Joel Telling, we're like that, we are. We're both as crap at each other at live builds. The only difference is I can't get my missus to come on them. I'm not surprised. She'd be overly embarrassed by me, and I don't blame her. I'll try to get the daughter involved, but... Oh, sorry, done it again. Anybody that's got a 14-year-old daughter will know how difficult it is to get them to do anything. Oh, really? Tell me how crap the new iPhone is then. Seeing as you dissed me for watching that. I did read it. Oh, sorry. NerdCube just flashed something up. What am I missing? That better not be live. If NerdCube's gone live, I'm going to cry. Because all my people are going to leave me. Mine won't come on either. Your missus? I know, it's terrible, isn't it? Clearly they think we're making complete fools of ourselves. And quite why they think that, I have no idea. Yes. But no, it would be nice. I like the fact that Joel's got his missus involved. I think it's pleasant. You know, he's not doing it for effect. He's not doing it for anything other than she's a genuinely nice person by the looks of things. And, yeah, seems actually interested in what he's doing. Why should I sound surprised at that? Okay. Right, just noticing a little something. We don't have those in the Netherlands. What, women? Oh, no. Right, sorry, chip shops. Sorry, Iggy. Me being an arse again. Just something else I want to show you. I don't know whether this is of any interest to anybody. Let me see if I can get... Who's going to tell me to switch over? Who's going to tell me? Nobody's going to tell me. Right, transition time to close-up camera. Close-up camera, transition. Right. Well, you can make that out. Can you make that out? There is actually a cable tie in there. Well, that's too bright for you to actually see it. But there, I don't know whether you can see it. You can't. I can't get you far enough. I'm going to tilt you that way. Sorry, that's going to make you feel really ill. You might go off in a minute. There. You see that? There's a cable tie on there. And that's between the circuit board and the metal mount. Now, whether they are using that to somehow isolate the board from the mount, I don't know. But it just seems a little strange that there's a cable tie sat there. See that? Just trying to get it to show up. But anyway, it's there. We have ladies in the Netherlands, I know, and they are beautiful. I have seen many a picture. Not that I've been, oh dear, digging myself old again, aren't I? I'm going to have a nut. Well, the extruder, it seems to be, it's a plastic, but it seems to be quite a tough plastic. Difficult to describe exactly. They look like that. How about that for a way of describing them? Hang on. Let me get my super light back out. So they're an injection molded plastic. Apparently, according to Tim, who is a man who knows these things, they look to be Titan copies. I have no idea, as I've never had something that's had a Titan extruder. But that's what Tim tells me. And like I say, Tim is a man who knows these things. So I will believe what Tim says. It's a rough finish to the plastic. It's not rough. It's difficult to describe it. It almost looks more like a composite than a plastic, if that makes any sense. There's a little knob of glue on each one where the knurled gear is. So I guess that's like a Loctite type thing to stop that thread from coming loose. But it's weird. Like I say, it doesn't look like cheap flimsy plastic. It looks like good quality, but it's got a kind of finish to it. But we'll see. We'll see how they last. We'll see how they perform. We've got the little run-out sensors there. Oh, look. This is where I lose everybody. Hey, everyone. Have you seen what has just popped up on my feed? Neris is doing an unboxing and live build. And guess what he's doing an unboxing and live build of? Anybody care to guess? Fantastic. You could not write this kind of thing, could you? Does it have a spring tensioner? Yes, it does. It has a little spring tensioner there, which again you can't see, but yes, it does have a spring tensioner on it, so that's all good. I cannot believe Neris is doing his unboxing live now of this machine. Richard, stop it. You horrible, horrible, horrible man. If you want to go and watch Neris do a far better job than me, that's absolutely fine. I don't care. I just don't care anymore. So I am going to start sticking some cables on now. Let's get some power in this thing. We seem to have got everything else up and running. I've got these two to stick in, so we'll just stick those in. Make sure you push them all the way home, guys. Make sure you give them a wiggle to make sure that they're tight. That's always a good thing to do. I just can't get over the fact Neris is doing his unboxing now. Did he not look? Did he not look and see that I was doing mine and think to himself, I won't do that because I'm not going to get anybody viewing my channel because everybody's going to be watching Matthew do his. Did he not think that? I mean, you know, if he only ends up with 5 subscribers watching his channel, who has he got to blame? Who am I kidding? Tim, I'm going off you very quickly. You see, that's what I like about you guys, is that you're all heart. Righty-ho, we have some kind of proprietary plug there that goes into the hot end, which has got quite a lot of cables. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 12. I gave up counting, about 12. So that goes up, and there is just like a block connector there, and that just sits in. Well, I say it sits in. That just pushes in like that. Make sure that's all the way home. So that's that in. So that was fairly obvious where that went. I've got this other very long one, which is marked E0 and E1, and then I have the filament runout sensor plugs for E0 and E1, so that's fairly obvious where they go. Do you know, I do like it when they label stuff up for simpletons like me. So the one nearest to me, or the one to the left, is going to be E0. So we have put the plug in for the stepper motor, and now we have the plug in for the filament sensor, and we will do the same for E1. I just cannot believe Neris. Oh. Do you think he's trying to kill my channel off? I've only got 16 people watching. I bet it's down to 14 by the next time I look. Tell you what you ought to do. You ought to go onto Neris's channel and just go in there and say, oh, if you don't want to sit and watch Neris get all the way through it, Matt's about to turn his on. No, that's not good. It's not nice. It's not clever. I've got some cables here still. Right, what have we got here? So, I've got, ooh, SEX. I'm sorry. I don't know whether you're going to be able to read that. No, you can't. It actually says XES, but it was upside down and I got all excited. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, dear. So, these must go into, what else have I got here? Right, so I've got ZM. So ZM will be Z motor, I'm guessing. 12. I told you, I've lost 4. 4 people have rushed over to watch Neris instead. So I've got ZM. So this one that says sex on it. So that must be extrude. I've got XM. Try to get my cables on out of the way. Make sure I get that nice and loose so that reaches all the way to the top. And we will plug that into there like so. And then that one will plug into there like so. Do you know what? I think apart from plugging the power supply in, oh, and of course, check my bed again. I think I've given it a knock and it's a bit wobbly. So I need to get that in there. I need to get that one in there. Interesting thing is, the Y stepper motor was already plugged in. That was kind of them, wasn't it? They'd done it for me already. So we'll plug that into there like that. We've got that in like that. We've got that in like that. We've got that in like that. We are going to just get this. Oh, I've made that worse, you know. Actually, that's nothing, not their fault. That's entirely me. I have actually made that worse. Should have concentrated more on Tim's video. First, use the right spanner. So first impressions, build quality, are good as always. Improvements, well, the first improvement is the size of the knobs for the bed leveling. Again, they've listened, you know, they've done something about it. It's a fairly simple build, fairly straightforward build. I've been on an hour and a half, but I've been waffling and sniffing and goodness knows what else. Cable management, well, you know me and cable management. I don't tend to bother with it too much. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to move cameras about a little and see if I can get cameras in such a way that you can see what's going on. This is where I should go to my big DSLR, but of course, as you well know, that doesn't want to work at the moment for reasons known only to itself. And that is not going to work on there. That's going to be far too close. So we are going to persevere and we are going to make this work. We are going to make this work. We're going to keep that one as it is. We are going to put that one there. Let's just see if I can't make some magic happen, because it would be nice if something went right for me. You have to bear with me. What I'm trying to do is I've moved my close-up cam in such a way that that's it's not very level, but it might mean that when I go over to it, you will actually get a shot of the printer, which is always good to see. So if I go back to main, I am going to Is anybody left? Is anybody still there? Properties, properties, properties. This is what you call working on the fly, this. That's that one, isn't it? So we'll do a done. And we are going to do a transition like so. So there we go. We now have the camera that was a close-up camera is now showing you the printer in all its finery built. So we have the close-up cam here, which you can see is that one there, which we will show. Oh, I haven't done that. Oh, that shows the build plate. We'll show what the print's doing, and then we've got this camera up here now, which is showing me. So we'll get the power supply. Hey! Don't know what I did with it. So there, look. And we will, yeah, let's see if we can get some blue smoke, shall we, guys? The 13 of you that managed to stay after Neris tweet. Ah. Do you know, it would have been better if I hadn't said anything. Those 3 people would still be here. Who am I kidding? It would have gone by now anyway. They've probably fallen asleep. Right, so I'm just going to nip around here. Right, before we go any further, let's make sure that the power is off. The power is off. If everything goes dark like that, don't worry. It'll come back on again in a minute. I'm just moving cables about a bit. Right, so which one did I manage to pull out then? That one. There we go. We have light. So come back round here. Oh, Gus, all right, mate. Thanks for dropping in, buddy. Do you want to just wait 30 more seconds and watch it go bang? You don't have to if you don't want to. You know, it's entirely up to you. But we are about to power the machine up. I've put the SD card somewhere. There it is. So it's entirely up to you, Gus. But it's happening. You ready? 3, 2, 1. We've got power, but you know what? There's something not working. Is it smoking in the control box area? No, it isn't. But I'll tell you what I haven't done. Well, what's wrong is I've got the LCD cable in the wrong way up. So I've just powered off. And now we'll now try to do the impossible. Do you know? So when it says blue to the bottom, it doesn't actually mean blue to the bottom at all. This is going to get funny now. Yes, Gus got it. It's working in a control box area. I tell you what, Tim. I'm going off you. Right, so we'll have it that way up. See if we have any more luck, shall we? And now we have an LCD lit up. For those you want to know, it's Marlin 1.1.8. It's just flashed up as. So there you go, Marlin 1.1.8. We are live, like suicide, as they say. First thing I'll point out is the fact that they've made the fan quieter. It's not silent, don't get me wrong. But you'll all know, any of you that have an A10 will know that the control box fan is noisy. Has to be said. But that is a lot quieter. So SD card goes in upside down, I seem to remember. Like so. And it says card inserted, that's always good. So now you see we've got the mix settings there, look. Which I am not going to get into now because, like I say, I have not a clue. Everybody's leaving to watch Neris. I cannot believe he's decided to do it tonight. I'm not happy, Neris. We are going to use the filament that came with it because I do not intend, unless you want me to. Right, we're going to have a poll now. I've been on an hour and a half and I've got the machine built and it's switched on. I can do one of two things. I can put 2 spools of brand new filament up here and print and keep the stream growing until something has completely printed, or I can put this filament on that we have been given with it, and we will try to print something off the SD card with this filament and see how far it gets. So what do we want to do? Do we want to do a whole new spool of filament and definitely get it printing, or do we want to go down the lines of just use up what we've got? Oh, I see, it's like that, is it, Tom? Hang the expense, Matthew. Get 2 spools of filament and let's do it right. Yeah, I would love to look at that, Gus, but my goodness, it's expensive stuff. Trying to ship it to the UK. Right, so we will be using then, I'm not using new spools. You're not worth it, Tom. We will be using, sponsored by, so that's some filamentive, some RPLA filamentive. So we'll have that on extruder 2, or extruder 1, should we say, seeing as we're extruder 1 and extruder 0. We shall fight to get the filament into the tube. Oh, I had it in then and I've lost it. Do you know, I'm not in the best position to do this really. I move this round so you lot can see, and I can't see myself now. I had it in once, said the actress to the bishop. Yum bum bum bum. Right, I might have to cheat in a minute. Don't tell anyone. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Let me just try my little cheat maneuver. No, I'm still struggling. Does this only ever happen to me, or do other people have this issue? Answers on a postcard too. Do you know that's... No, Amazon UK does not have it yet, unfortunately. We do not have, not that I've seen anyway. If anybody has seen Amazon Basics PLA, or any filament for that matter, I'd very much like a link to it. I don't think I've got that enough of an angle. I think that's my bad. I'll be honest with you. Get that a bit more pointy. There we go. Oh. I'm really struggling. Do you know what? I'm an idiot. There's a massive great thumb wheel on here to wind the filament through. So why the chopping hell didn't I just use it? You know, rather than all this fighting and making myself look like an idiot, if I'd actually used the extruder for what it is meant for, we wouldn't be having this issue. So somebody asked about the bed. The bed is a glass bed, and it has got some clever stuff on it, which means it expands the sort of black octagonal pattern expands as I'm just having a look for some filament. Oh, I know what I can use. Yes, it expands when it gets hot, and then the little octagonal shapes then contract when they cool, thus meaning that your print comes off the bed beautifully. Yes, it's really good stuff. This nondescript reel you're seeing here, can anybody tell me, anybody who's in the know, I'll put it on that camera, camera 1, where have I got that from? No, nobody can read that. Can you read it on that one? No, you probably can't. Ultra base type stuff, yes. Oh, Richard's putting links up. Oh, it's a thick spool. Do you know, it's the one thing about this spool is it's a bit blooming big. But does anybody know what that is? Some of you may know. That's not going to fit on there. I'm not going to be able to use it. Oh, you... Oh. There's always one clever sod in Rome, isn't there? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Dear Mr. Prusia's silver that came with my Mark III, which I am happy to announce is working properly again. Thank you, Tom, for all your help. Very grateful. I had a long talk with Shane from Prusia Research. I'm sure many of you know Shane does have a YouTube channel. and he's also active on Twitter and Facebook. And I reached out to him, and while he was at work, we had a long discussion and a chat, and we got to the bottom of the issue. And the bottom of the issue was that my Pinder probe was actually faulty. Cheers, Gus. Thanks very much for joining, mate. Do appreciate it. Really, really good to see you on. Always nice that you show up, buddy. Take care. We'll speak soon. Yes, it was the Pinder probe, and there was an issue with it. So I was sent a new one, free of charge, because apparently it was part of the guarantee. Fitted it, and it's printing like a boss. All the issues I was having went right out the window. I did actually change the nozzle as well, Tom, while I remember. I don't know which camera I'm pointing at now. I did change the nozzle as well because I am still not sure that my Olsen Ruby isn't damaged. I do honestly think that I've crashed it into the bed or something, and I might have even chipped the Ruby a little, which is very annoying. But I went to E3D and I bought 2 proper ones from them, had them delivered. So at the same time as changing out the Pinder probe, I also changed out the brain dead's gone. I changed out the nozzle as well, and all is good with the world, which is brilliant because, as you well know, we're all waiting for we're waiting to be told that the MMU2 is shipping to us. Can't wait. Really can't wait. If I'm going to have trouble with these 2 extruders, Christ, what am I going to do with 5? But this is an issue that you will find when you do end up having a lot of printers, is that if one fails, you do tend to go, oh well, and just start using another one. And and that's really bad. But you know, I've got umpteen machines now. Some of you may know I'm having to downsize shortly. Space is going to become an issue. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, I just got lazy because I had so many other printers. The Prusa just sat there, started gathering dust, and I wasn't bothered because I had plenty of other machines. I had me Geeetech that was printing like a boss. I had me 2 Ender 3s that were printing really well once I'd done my mods and put big glass on and one thing or another. So the Prusa just sat there, and it's like a 700 quid machine. And it was all my savings. And I just, you know, just didn't bother with it. It was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But it wasn't. Why is it not printing yet? Because I'm talking. And it was nothing other than the fact I had other machines that I didn't do anything with it. So, are we going to go? We're going to go with a lizard. We've got a lizard or a traffic cone. So which do you think? Lizard, traffic cone, lizard, I mean, having silver and orange, the lizard might be quite good. I think that might work quite well. Should we go for the lizard? First one to give me an answer. Yes, there we go, lizard. Traffic cone sounds too simple. So, we'll go down. We will go to print from SD. We will click on lizard. I've not done any leveling yet either, have I? That might be an issue. We might just stop that because nobody told me to check the bed was level. You see, I'm jumping. That's very, very naughty of you all. Oh! Right, so what did I just do? I just realised I hadn't levelled the bed and I switched the power off. Right? But what I was actually doing that you didn't realise, which you now can't see, I was testing the power resume function. And it works. which is a complete lie. That is not what I was doing at all. But no, really, that's what I was doing. Okay, so... Oh! Sorry, I'm going to have to show you this. We have, on the screen here, level corners. So we should go through this process, because we think this is quite cool. So into prepare, into level corners, and we turn our wheel. So we've got semi-automatic bed leveling to a degree. Shipping notice. See what I might do, I might just crank all these down to start with. It's always a good idea to crank all 4 down to the bottom to start with. That stops you crashing into your bed. Is baby stepping enabled out of the box? Do you know what? I don't know yet, but we shall have a look. I thought that was brilliant, mate. I really did. I thought that was absolutely perfect. I was testing you all failed, but I was also testing the power resume function, and it worked. So, that's a bit. Tell you what, those knobs are better. You know me and my knobs. Richard, I see you've sent me the Amazon Basics PLA is now available in the UK. Can you just tell me how much it is, mate? Because I can't open that link you've sent me, not while I'm doing this. Right, so we've got that one done. So then we click next corner, and over it comes. And down it goes. So that's 2 for 2. See, this is good. Don't you think this is good that they're actually $12.69 but out of stock? In other words, it's not in stock then. So it's not actually coming to stock yet. Do you not think this is good that Geeetech have taken the time to put this in the firmware straight away? I think this is brilliant. This is what I like about Geeetech. They're listening to customers. They're making the whole experience easy. Good on them. Emma's going to get a nice email off me tomorrow. Well, Facebook message. Because I think they've done it again, bless them. I think they've made it. Well, until we see it print, we don't know. But from the outlook, it doesn't look like a bad machine. Again. It's basic in newer Merlin, is it? All right, okay. Well, this is 1.1.8 this is running. As it flashed up when I hooked. Right, so is it going to take me back to the front corner again? It is. So you can make that slight alteration there. Ew. Just need a little turn. Come on, where are you? There. Right, I'm fairly happy with that. Fairly happy with that. So we'll go back now and we will go to print from SD and we will print lizard and we'll see what happens. So it says heating bed. Of course, this is a 24-volt machine, so it does heat fairly quickly. Oh, isn't it exciting? I'll have a drink. So how's Neris getting on? Has he printed 5 or 6 things already by now then, has he? Ah, that's better. So, we'll just see what happens, shall we? Not really followed much in the way of instructions. Just sort of let it get on with it. We'll get this camera set up so we can have a look at what it prints like. Because that's really why you're all here. When's it going to print? Tim, have you got something better you could be doing? Is that the problem? You know? Right. You clean your desk. I do not believe you. You, sir, are talking rubbish. Clean your desk. I've never known you clean your desk. We're going to go there. Oh, we lost the camera. How have I managed that? How am I losing cameras again? Right, which one have we lost this time, guys? Are we shutting down? Yeah, I've had enough. Yeah, I'm going. I'm just trying to work out which one's gone off, and then I will get it back on again. Right, so that one's all right. That one's all right. Well, we seem to be losing cameras like they're dropping like flies at the moment, which is not good. But we're still heating up, so that's not a big issue. We can... It's warming up a lot. It is indeed. The hotbed is at 65 degrees and we are now heating the extruder. But it is only heating to 195, so that could be interesting. But we will see what happens. Right, we could be cooking with gas again in a minute, guys. that to there, and we're back in the room. Look, there we go. It is taking a while to heat up, it must be said. Like I said, the bed's at 65, the hot end is now at 156, so we're nearly there. I think it's possibly because we're waiting for it, you know, like the watched pot never boils, I believe is a saying. But yeah, 195, we might need to turn that up slightly. I would be happier around the 200, 205 mark for these, but we shall see. Maybe the Geeetech filaments print at slightly lower temperature. Right, we're nearly there, guys. Whoa, that's shot on. Oh, I should have cleaned the nozzle, shouldn't I? Well, it's been tested because it's got purple stuff in it. So they have tested the. Oh, going to a purge block. They have certainly tested this machine has worked because that was purple PLA that came out of that. And now we're going over to grey. But it's printing at a rate of knots. Iggy, I've no idea, mate, because it'll be on the SD card and I've not looked. But that's fairly chewing on. We are not getting a perfect print, ladies and gentlemen. I think we need to up the temperature slightly. I think the temp's a bit low, personally. So I've upped the nozzle temp to 205. See if the baby stepping works. No, I don't see baby stepping out of the box. No. Don't see it. No, I can't see that baby stepping is set out of the box. But we are getting a print going down. It is not the best. It's possibly down to me not getting it perfectly level. I also think that temperature was far too low. I think to be expecting it to print PLA at 195, I think is a bit on the low side. Personally speaking, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what you guys normally print at, but I normally print PLA at 205, sometimes even more. So that's certainly the issue with the Prusa. What did Prusa say you should print their silver filament at, Tom? Well, you're the man that will know. Is that supposed to be? I'm not sure whether that's 205. Anyway, I think 195 is too low. So I've upped it a bit. So it hasn't been the best first layer. It has to be said. But, you know, it's a bit of a learning curve. Did I check out your new homepage? No, Timothy, but you put a link in that there chat box there and I'll go and have a look. Because I can do that now. Well, we've definitely got a two-colour print going on, guys. And it's printing a lot better since I've... Can you see the silver Prusa filament when it was at 195? It's printed terribly. And since I've turned up to 205 with the filamentive, I am getting a decent layer down there. So I honestly think that is a temperature issue. So there you go. That's why. So that's my fault as much as anything, because I've put the filaments in and I didn't change anything. But we've got a print going on. So we'll ignore the first layer. The first layer is down to the fact that I'm an idiot. No, the first layer is down to the fact that we didn't have the temps right. So what we'll actually do is we'll tune it a little bit more. We'll take the nozzle to 210. Because I know the filamentive will roll at 210 without any issues. It's not too... Oh, by the way, thanks, Iggy. Appreciate that, mate. You going and looking that up or knowing it off the top of your head. It's not too noisy. It's got to be said. It's not massively noisy. Again, the build quality is fine. I can't believe I've actually got something printing in two colours, because it's not something I've ever done before. So, hats off to Geeetech. That's a first for me. I have never printed in two colours, and I am now printing in two colours. Yes, but you did look it up, mate. That's the thing. You did look, which I appreciate, Iggy. So we've got 13 people in the room. 13 people in the room. Tim, you haven't... Just stick a link up in the chat, mate, and I'll go and have a look at your new homepage. That's going to be really spicy, that nut. I'm going to wish I hadn't done that. You're not getting a very good look at that, are you? Let me see if I can make that a little bit for you. Yeah, and click some like buttons. If you haven't clicked the like buttons, click the like buttons. Otherwise, I'll start talking about supporting me. And you wouldn't want to have to hear all that malarkey. Right, I'm just going to move things about a bit for you. There you go, look, you can see what's going on now. Really messy first layer there, but like I say, that filament was nowhere near the right temperature. In fact, I'm surprised the extruder even pulled it through, but it did. But we're now going. We've got good layer adhesion. Yes, Iggy, thank you very much indeed. LibrePay is working very well for me. Thank you very much indeed, and much appreciated. While we're on the subject. Yes. Cheers, everyone. I'm on the hard stuff tonight. This is the first live unboxing I have done when I have not been drinking alcohol. Nobody's picked up on that, have they? Look. Well, not that you can look. I'm on 7-Up. And it's 7-Up free at that. For usual reasons. What was a great disappointment? That I wasn't drinking alcohol? Hello, good evening. The Skewed View 3D is in the room. You don't want to be in here. A tasty beverage would help, yes, but I am teetotal till Friday. I am saving myself. Yeah, you've missed it all, bud. It's nearly all over. If you want to catch up, Neris is streaming exactly the same thing. It's just one of those things. Oh, LibrePay was a disappointment. Hey, it's fine, dude. Don't worry. We need booster. Ian, I could go off you. It's not very nice. So if you think this is bad, we had Jimmy Shaw doing this last night. And like I say, if my machine had turned up on time, I would have beaten him by about 7 or 8 hours. So that was a bit sad that Jimmy Shaw got his out first. So now I've got mine out, and now Neris is doing his at the same time. The next time this is going to happen to this degree, I believe, is when the MMU2s start turning up. And I've got a funny feeling there's going to be, 2 or 3 streams a night. Different people madly trying to get their MMU2s working. But I can't wait. Really cannot wait. In fact, you know, I haven't checked today. Oh, no, that would be a thing, wouldn't it? Hey, wouldn't that be a thing if I went and looked on this now and my order status had changed? Oh, that would be stunning. No, but it hasn't. No, it's still sat at payments accepted. You think you're borderline alcoholic? Ian, you've no idea, mate. That thing that was on the telly the other night that we're talking about, people over the age of 40 should try to abstain from drink at least 2 nights a week. And I thought, doesn't sound like a plan to me, but I'm managing it at the moment. You do a much better review than Jimmy. Oh, bless you. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate that. What? Oh, Skilled, that's just not fair. Do you guys still call the TV the telly? Yes, mate. Absolutely. Oh, bless. Now, Ender 3 for $99. That's good going, that, mate. That's impressive. Right, we're beginning to get somewhere now. We've actually got a little... Is that lifting? Can't tell whether it is or it isn't. I mean, that first blooming layer. Yes. I'm going to whack that nozzle up a bit more. We're going to go at 215. It's fairly flying along though, isn't it? Had a contact and get my dual boards off wholesale me for the Ender 3. So you would basically do an Ender 3 version of this, is what you're saying. You would have an Ender 3 version of that. Well, that's not a bad idea, is it? Really? I'm still, I know I've said it before, I said it on my review of the A10. Creality, yes, good machines. In fact, I had a guy speak to me today, hit me up on Facebook Messenger, excuse me, asking my opinion as to whether he should buy an A10 or an Ender 3. Never met the guy before, guy from India. Clearly he's been watching me either on Facebook or he's been looking at my YouTube channel or whatever. But he hit me up and he said, Ender 3, A10, Ender 3, A10. And then he suddenly said, but if I want to go bigger, I have actually got a bit of lifting on that. That's not sticking to the bed. Should I go CR10 or A30? Now, we all know that the A30 is a new machine to the market. We all know it's running proprietary firmware, which isn't without its issues at the moment. I have a beta version of the firmware which is working well for me at the minute. There is a slight issue with fluctuations in the nozzle temperature, but they're going to dial that in and sort that out. But he was saying, you know, which to go for, a CR10 or an A30. And I had to be honest and say CR10, because you've got the support from the community, certainly not from Creality, but you've got the support from the community. It's running Marlin, it's tried, tested, all the issues with it have been ironed out, all the problems that they had when it first came out have been solved, sorted. It's a rock solid machine. Whereas the A30, because it's in its infancy, has still got teething problems, has still got issues that need solving. But in the long haul, if you're willing to wait and you're willing to put up with the problems at the moment, I would go A30. But if you want something that's going to work out the box now, go CR10. I don't know what he's done. He sort of stopped talking to me after that, but that was my honest opinion at that point. Titan Aero on an A30, yeah. Yeah. I'm still not sure, you know. ABL kits, oh, I'm going to be right controversial now. On something the size of a CR10 or something the size of an A30, I totally get it. Totally get auto bed leveling. Something the size, a build plate size of this, I don't feel it's as necessary because it is a smaller build plate. Yeah, I know you have, mate. But I just think, and I could be entirely wrong, I just think that it's not necessary. I've got an issue, I think we have an issue, gentlemen. I think the Prusa filament is not printing. No, maybe it is. I can't tell whether it is or it isn't. Just bear with me. No, it's not. Now, we've got a problem with that somewhere. I'm not sure where. Have a look down at the nozzle. Nozzle's clean enough. Right, let's do a pause of the print. Oh, I just pressed stop print rather than pause print. That was stupid. Oh, well, that's come to a stunning end. My fault. Right, well, while we are not working, yeah, E-steps is all there. I'm having a bit of trouble with the filament we've put in it. Quite clearly. Yeah, that's not gone particularly well. You can see that. So, it's not without an issue. It's arseholes, all right. Backside looks lovely. Certainly the orange. But yeah, that's not gone particularly well there. It's got to be said. I think what we might do, first thing we're going to do, we shall remove Joseph's filament off there. My backside looks lovely. Thank you very much, dear. Ha 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 ha. Oh, you're so witty. What have I got hanging about down here? I had some green PLA somewhere, just bear with me. Ah, there she blows, just bear with me 2 ticks. I'm just going to unplug it. See, this is what live builds are all about, isn't it? Hey, this is what we want. Take you back around there, as not to cause any issues. So here I have some filamentum PLA, which you can't see. Put it on that one. Yeah, I'm getting confused which camera's which. Filamentum PLA. So we'll stick that on. We will prime the nozzle. Oh, night Sonic, thanks very much for popping in, mate. Much appreciated. It must be dark up there in Scotland this time of night. Right, so we will do a bit of nozzle purging, and we will crank it up again, guys. We'll give it another go, because we don't like to give in. So we're all the way in on there, we're all the way in on there. So must be going out to my phone after that. I got a bunch of stuff to do. All right, buddy. Thanks very much for joining, as always. Always good to have you guys here. So we're going to go back to the info. We are right down there. So we are going to, first thing we're going to do is auto home. Purge block came up a treat. It's quite pretty, that. Right. Prepare. I'm going to preheat PLA. You see, setting it to preheat PLA, it is setting it to 180 degrees. That is just, it's not what I would call a PLA temperature, personally. Oh, that mixer looks interesting. Gonna have some fun with that. Sorry, I've started sniffing again, haven't I? So I'll get this thing back up to temp. And we'll give it another go, but we'll certainly crank we'll get the temperature up before we start. Yeah, no, absolutely, Richard, we will do that. Because it's clearly not coming out hot enough, is it? Yeah, no, it's from looking at this piece of lizard I have in my hand here, it was definitely trouble with the Prusa Silver. The orange was going down fine, the Prusa Silver wasn't going down fine, and then yeah, it was almost like it was trying to extrude the grey, and there was a bit of orange left in the bottom, and that was coming through. It's just, I don't think it was particularly happy. It's the best way to describe it. But what I'm going to do is, excuse me, I'm sniffing again. I'm going to move Z up. I'm going to cheat just a little. Never touch a hot nozzle, lads, it hurts. Now, how's that cable sit when it's all the way up there? That needs to come. I need to take that over the top, maybe. That looks a bit tight up there, like that. Those get awfully tight when they get up there as well, look. They get ridiculously tight when they get up there. Save my fingers. So that's at 180, that's at 70. Okay, I just wanted to see if I could get, I'm not sure whether that extruder is, oh no it is. I don't know whether that spring's tight enough. I think that could be my issue. I don't think it's gripping the filament correctly. That feels a bit on the loose side. There's that. That could be the issue, but we're going to just go for it and try it again and see what happens. So, print from SD. You're going to print the lizard. We're going to go to tune. We're going to go to nozzle. We are going to up the nozzle to 205, which is why I took it all the way to the top, because it gives me time. In fact, I might even put it to 210. So temperature on the nozzle at 210. Go back to main. See, the other thing is, and this could just be me being stupid, but it doesn't actually tell me how far to wind the... Oh, later, Riggs. Take care, buddy. It doesn't tell me how far to wind in the filament, unless it does say on the instructions, and I have taken absolutely no notice of them. I didn't know whether there should have been a mark somewhere on the tube that you're supposed to wind it to. Because if there is, I'm a very naughty boy and I've not taken any notice of it. I mean, that could be the issue. That's a possibility. Well, the green's printing, as you can clearly see. Still not a perfect layer height. And I'm also, this filament sensor is grabbing. Don't think you can see. Yeah, it could well be a tad high, Richard. I can't really see it at the moment. I could try cleaning it, setting it on the fly, but we're getting a layer down. But that sensor up there, you see the way that's dragging? See the way that's tweaking? I mean, that, again, that could be down to me. I've not even checked whether I've set that up properly. Again, because I don't tend to read instructions, that could be done entirely the wrong way, and I would not know. And I don't actually know where I've put the instructions now. Oh, they're over there. I should go and have a look. Yeah, no, that is high, Richard. We're not getting a good print out of that, and I think it's more to do with me than the machine. Now, we could spend all night troubleshooting this, but just checking the filament sensors now just to see if I've got those right before we go any further. Can't really tell, because these pictures on this instructions are so damn small. Right, I've got a confession to make, guys. And this is what live unboxings are all about. I've switched the machine off, and there's a reason why I switched the machine off. And the reason is I've actually got the extruders on incorrectly. Because I haven't looked at the instructions. This is a lesson for everyone. Because I haven't looked at the instructions correctly, I have just presumed I have the extruders on the wrong way around. Believe it or not, and it's entirely down to me, nobody else. But these extruders that I've got sat like this aren't supposed to be sat like this. This is the whole reason why this machine is working, I won't say badly. Badly is probably not the right word for it, but why we're not giving it a fair chance is basically because I'm an umpty. And I haven't taken any notice of what the instructions say. So I shall now show you what I should have done, but I haven't done. So I shall just move that out of the way. And this is why I do these kind of things, so you don't make these mistakes I do. We don't do instructions. Well, we don't, do we? You know, we think we know better. But basically, they aren't on right. They are supposed to be on the back of here. The back of that rail is where they're supposed to be sat, and I've put them on incorrectly because I'm an idiot and I thought I knew better. So there we go. This is where my YouTube channel now goes through the floor. Nobody ever watches any of my videos again. Geeetech certainly never send me another printer again. Yeah. You may have just watched my whole career on YouTube and in 3D printing crash and burn. All because I'm a class 1 buffoon. But basically, I've got these on wrong. Which could be the whole reason why those PTFE tubes are so long. I am an idiot. So we are going to quickly... Did you tell me? I didn't see you tell me. I shall have to look back through the chat and see where it says that. But yes, I'm an idiot. I have made a mistake. And if you take nothing else from this whole experience, please take note to read your instructions. Don't be an idiot like Matthew. Read the instructions. So they are actually supposed to go, I believe, and I'm going to check the instructions now. Yeah, interesting, Tim, that you didn't pick up on that. Oh dear Lord. What kind of fool am I? Why didn't anybody tell me? Hey, why did nobody tell me? All right, yeah, I'm with you. So, I should have really looked at the pictures. But I've got to say, these pictures are small for a man of my age. And that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So they're actually supposed to sit something a bit more like that. I don't have the machine, so it can't... Tim, you still should have known. Can't keep claiming I haven't got it, so I don't know why it doesn't work. You're supposed to be my guru. You're supposed to know everything about everything. It's gone awfully quiet in here. Just somebody go and check that Neris is putting it on the right way around. And if not, tell him. I cannot believe I've done it. Well, I can believe I've done it. I just have done it. Rookie mistake. Absolute rookie mistake. I'm not sure quite how these filaments are going to work now then. I don't know whether I've got those on wrong as well. Read the instructions, man. Read the instructions. Curious about the power zoom. Yeah. Oh, it's going to work because it flashed up before, didn't it? So that's now a lot more straightforward. Now let's make sure we get this filament sorted out so I can see how it actually loads. So yeah, it has got, so they are like that. So that filament is coming in at a doozy of an angle. I wonder if that would be better coming in that way. Still a doozy of an angle. Not quite sure how that's supposed to work. Good afternoon, Rover. We're just having a lesson in how to cock things up. Right, so I can't get that camera any closer. I might swap to the other camera. So those are now, they're both the same. They're both exactly identical. There's not one left and one right. So they're both set like that. But it's just how this filament is coming out of here to go into here. It's going to run off the spool sideways. If you can see what I mean, which you actually can't, but the filament's almost pulling back on itself to come out of the... If we were to have it like that, that's pulling at a heck of an angle. But that, well, I suppose I can't turn the holders 90 degrees because there are two screws there that go into that extrusion. You physically can't get them 90 degrees on. Not possible. It's just as you want to resume the print. I think Ray's asking if you've got them crossed over. They are both exactly the same. If I had a camera that had a cable long enough to actually reach to show you, they are identical. There is no difference between them. You see that? They are identical extruders. There is no difference between them at all. So that is strange. Left has a silver bottom, right has a black bottom. Am I being completely thick now? Am I just being stupid? From there, they are both silver. Right, so one's black and one's silver. Yeah, I see that, but they are entirely the same. I can't believe for 1 minute that that makes a difference. I should look at the instructions. I hear what you're saying. Is it going to tell me that one is different from the other? No, it just says mount the 2 extruder motors on the frame and fasten with the screws. Assemble the filament sensors with the detectors, and it doesn't really show you a picture of how that goes. It's trying to resume the print though. I thought I'd do it just to see what it did. It's not going to work, of course, because I've got several layers down already. I've got the spool holders on correctly. Yeah, it did try and carry on. In fact, believe it or not, it's actually doing quite a good job. Well, that beggars belief. Well, I'll be blowed. That's actually printing 100 times better now. Not that you can see. Still don't like that temperature. I'm not convinced by the way these spool holders are working as to whether it's going to work or not. But we shall see. Now you see, it's just pulled that off there, isn't it? So either I've got something wrong, well, I'm not sure, gentlemen, really. I'm not sure whether it's me that's got this the wrong way around. So what I'm going to do is, we've been on nearly 3 hours. I'm going to end the stream now, because apart from anything else, I'm getting particularly tired. So the conclusions for this video is, firstly, read the flaming instructions. Secondly, build quality is fine. I can't tell you about print quality because I haven't managed to print anything. I know that these filament holders don't appear to be set up at their best. Again, it could be me. It might be just that I'm not very intelligent at the moment, but that is certainly not coming off that spool as I would like it to. So I will look some more into it and see if I can come up with the reasoning why. And of course there will be an update video which will tell you what my conclusions are and whether I get a print out there or not. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for watching me make a fool of myself in public and not read the instructions. And you know, the instructions are there. I mean, the quick start guide could do with being a little bit more helpful, but I'm sure if I look on the SD card there will be full instructions. On the website there will be full instructions, which I will look at, and we will endeavour to see if I can get this machine correctly put together and printed. I am in no way saying that this is Geeetech's issue. This is more likely to be my fault. But we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll find out what it was. I mean, I know Jimmy Shaw had his printing. So we will look into it. We will see what the problem is and we will solve it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. You that have been here from the beginning and haven't fallen asleep. You have come and gone. I totally get it. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.